been growing a variety of lettuce types in our vegetable garden this year, and these are ready to harvest. Now, there's several different types of lettuce that do well in Oklahoma, and they all have different characteristics of the form that they grow in and their flavor. We can have a variety of leaf lettuce that are a little bit more open. These are in red and green colors. For more of a heading type, I've been growing the Boston or Bibb type lettuces. They're also called butterhead. And these form a little bit of a head, but it's a real loose open head. Much different than the iceberg lettuce we find in the grocery store. That type doesn't do well here. It needs a much cooler climate. If you want more of a head lettuce, you can try also growing a romaine style lettuce, which is a little bit taller head. Now, those heading types really take longer to produce a good head, and so you want to make sure that you get them out early in the season. Lettuce grows best between a temperature range of 45 degrees and 75 degrees. Once the weather starts getting warmed up, the flavor of these is going to change. They tend to take on a bit of a bitter flavor, so get them started early, especially if you're growing those romaine types. Now, to harvest the leaf lettuce, there's a couple of different ways we can do this. We can just remove some of these outer leaves, and you want to kind of target some of the lower outside leaves and just break them off at the base and collect as much as you think you're going to eat that day. You can also remove an entire head, and the easiest way to do that is to just cut it off at the base and keep all the leaves intact. Now you can see I have some mulch on the ground here around my plants. Lettuce like a nice even moisture in the soil, and I like to use a mulch to help preserve that soil moisture. You just get your best growth that way. However, you need to wait until your plants come up before you mulch, because the seeds are so tiny they won't come up if there's mulch on the soil surface. But once they're up and established, that's a good way to keep the plants cool. Now, another thing we do with our leaf lettuce is we actually harvest the young tender plants as they come up to create a bigger spacing between the plants, and that allows some of the ones that we leave to grow much larger. Our heading type lettuces, the butter crunch type and the Bibbs, are ready to harvest once they've formed this kind of loose head. Our romaine type are ready once they're about 6 to 8 inches tall and the stems have elongated. Now with these, you can come in and just harvest a few leaves from the outside the way we did with our leaf lettuce, but most typically these are harvested all at once, again, by cutting the plant off at the soil level and then removing the whole plant. Our lettuces are very sensitive to temperature. We want to harvest them early in the morning before the weather heats up. If it is warm, you can cool them off with cool water and then refrigerate them. When you do rinse them, make sure to shake all that excess water out of the plant. But if you have a clean plant like this, you can just go ahead and refrigerate that without washing and wait until you eat it to wash it. That way we just don't have as much moisture packed in there in the refrigerator. Now we do want to store these in the refrigerator. They can be stored down to about 40 degrees and they keep pretty well for a few days. But I like to just harvest only the amount that I'm going to use for that day. Do it in the morning and keep it in the refrigerator until the evening.